Title: Reality Bites. In the small town of Crestwood, the air hummed with the excitement of a rare event, the unveiling of the town's very own cinema, the Silver Screen. It was a quaint, cozy place, filled with red velvet seats and walls adorned with classic movie posters. The grand opening promised not only the screening of the latest horror flick, Nightmare Realm **, but also a meet and greet with a few local artists who had dabbled in horror films. Among those in attendance was Maya, a 17-year-old movie buff known for her encyclopedic knowledge of horror films. She hurried inside, the dim light of the cinema wrapping around her like a warm blanket. As she crossed the threshold, she was greeted by the familiar smell of popcorn and the murmur of her peers buzzing with anticipation. The room went dark, and the screen flickered to life. The crowd laughed and screamed as the film played out, each jump scare met with a shriek and a burst of nervous laughter. As the credits rolled, Maya could hardly contain herself. She'd loved every second of it. The audience erupted in applause, but then something strange happened. The lights flickered and the projector buzzed wildly. The screen flared with a blinding light, and a swirling vortex of color emerged, consuming the entire room. Maya felt a force pull her forward, and before she could scream, everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she was no longer in the Silver Screen. She stood in a lifeless, post-apocalyptic version of her town, the buildings shattered and the sky a malignant shade of green. Sounds of distant laughter echoed around her, sending chills down her spine. She turned and spotted a figure emerge from the shadows, a silhouette that looked familiar. "Welcome to the Nightmare Realm *", Maya hissed a voice she recognized immediately. It was Vincent, the villain from the movie she had just seen. His grotesque smile and sunken eyes danced with malevolence. Behind him, other characters began to materialize, demons, ghosts, and things best left unseen. They were the manifestations of fear, the very essence of the horrors that plagued her dreams. Maya stumbled back. "What's happening? This isn't real." Vincent chuckled darkly. "Once you've seen our world, you can never return. You think you can watch, dissect, and critique our lives without consequence? Now, you will learn the true meaning of fear." Quote, as night fell, Maya realized they were no longer bound by the constraints of the screen. Vincent and his gruesome entourage stalked her through the desolation of Crestwood. Characters from different horror eras emerged: Children of the Corn, vengeful spirits, and the undead. They whispered her name, taunting her with the memories of her favorite films. Each turn was met with grinning shadows, eager to drag her down to their twisted world. In her frantic flight, Maya sought refuge in an old, decrepit theater building she once loved. She barricaded the door as the sinister whispers grew louder, the characters clawing at the wood. Heart racing, she rifled through her memories, searching for a way out. Then it hit her, a glimmer of hope. Characters are a creation of storytellers. They can be rewritten, she muttered. If she could draw their power from the narratives she had known, perhaps she could turn the tide. Maya took a deep breath, grounded herself, and began to recite the plot of Nightmare Realm. As she spoke, she could feel a shift. The air crackled with energy around her, the fear beginning to wane. She infused the retelling with courage, bravery, and most importantly, her own strong will. To her surprise, the characters faltered. "No, you can't control us," Vincent growled, but the ground beneath him began to tremble. Shadows writhed and those who'd once tortured her now seemed to shrink away, retreating into the shadows of their horrific designs. With each word, Maya pulled them back into their fictional realms where they belonged. In her mind, she visualized a barrier closing around them, trapping their monstrous forms within the fabric of storytelling. And then, with a final resounding cry, "You are fiction. Return," she unleashed the power of narrative. The room exploded with light. The last echoes of evil faded as the characters were sealed away. And just like that, Maya vanished from that haunted world, finding herself once again in the Silver Screen. She gasped, surrounded by her peers who continued their applauding, oblivious to her perilous journey. As the credits rolled again, Maya sat wide-eyed. Next time, she'd think twice before delving into a horror movie. She now understood that stories don't just entertain. They hold power, both to chill the soul and to save it. The screen flickered ominously, and she sensed that some stories are best left untold.